This is mainly for dealerships, right? In the US at least, is that auto manufacturers cannot directly sell to consumers in a lot of states. Like their regulations that just prohibit that direct selling.
Mm,
And this has like historical roots, like back maybe early like maybe 100 years ago or 80 years ago. I think sometime around that these
right.
regulations took place. And this was to prevent like manufacturers from like controlling, like there, I think the times are different and the problems are different, but these regulations have continued to carry on, and they built this massive industry of dealerships which are not owned by, they're franchised or they're independent. So they could be selling only one brand of a car, or they could be selling more depending on, whatever, they're new franchise cars or old. um but so so these dealerships are actually responsible for that entire journey, that a consumer goes through when buying a car, because it's a pretty expensive thing. It's the same reason why you have realtors, right? Well,
Yeah.
you could just walk in and buy the house today, right? Like, but why do you need somebody to actually help you through that entire process? So that's what the dealerships do actually for a very sophisticated, and an expensive purchase, right? And that too, it doesn't just end at that, because now you got to maintain it, right? So you need
Mm,
help all of the upkeep of the car and all that stuff. So the dealers actually enable that because they're closest to the customer, and it's very regional, right? There are dealerships everywhere in the US,
mm,
70,000 of them, covering like every spot, rural, urban, whatever it is, right? And then they actually build the relationships with the customer.
right.
And that's how you get like, because there are so many different brands. Like, why would you pick one brand over the other? Like, they're all fighting for market share,
True.
right?
True.
It is through these dealers that they actually execute, and give the customer the experience that they want. Because it is a massive scale operation. Like no car company can just go ahead and say, I'm going to service every, because that's where things start breaking down. You
Mm,
need people, you need the process. So that's where dealers come in, and some states are protected by regulations, some they're not. There are, different options of buying cars now. You have Carvana, a lot of competitors as well who, sell online. For example, there's no physical presence
mm,
where you buying used cars. So there are different experiences that people pick, but I think the number one continues to be like, dealerships, like they're selling cars, and also like service. So for service too, right? You can get service from dealerships, you can get service from independent auto body shops. So it's just such a huge market. Like you think of education, like automotive is as big as that, because
mm.
everyone's driving a car, and then you need to get to places, right? The inherent need for me to be somewhere.